Hi everybody, I'm Dee.
And I'm Jay.
And we are ParoDeeJay.
We are here with our wrap-up video for Adventure of the Seas.
It's that time already.
Gosh, guys, the series is over. 10 parts, can you believe it?
No.
I know. This is going to be a little bit of a different wrap-up because obviously we're going to talk ship. It sounds like we're going to talk shop. And we're going to talk Nassau because this was a sailing from the Bahamas and there was a lot of specific weird stuff that went on with that. So,
very different.
Got my notes on my phone because I don't want to forget anything. I think let's just go chronologically. So let's start off with Nassau, the process of getting there. What did you have to do to get in and all of that stuff?
So the main thing with the Bahamas in general, or Nassau, is you had to fill out a Bahamas health visa, which was a series of questions. You had to supply your passport information, your vaccine records, things like that if you were vaccinated.
True.
If you weren't, you had to wait until 5 days beforehand and provide your negative COVID-19 test.
Yeah, and for this sailing, the only ones who were allowed that were the youths, right? The youths.
Was 16 and under at the time.
That's right, okay.
It's changed since then.
Right, and this is as of, what, June 2021 when we sailed on this ship. The protocols are evolving so rapidly.
They're so different, yeah, everything's changing.
Make a video and the next day, everything changes. Yeah, so not hard questions, but just, you know, very thorough, making sure that you submitted all of your stuff and got approved on time. So then obviously when we got to, I guess before we get to Nassau, we'll also talk about, we flew on American Airlines and they have the Verifly app, which was also very helpful in speeding up our process because A, we packed in only carry-ons, so we didn't have to check a bag.
Or TSA pre-check.
That's true, that could be B, I almost forgot that part. And then C, Verifly.
Yeah, so Verifly is only with American Airlines at this time that I'm aware of.
Some of the
for
One World, right?
International travel. And what you do is you download their app, you input your information, you upload your passport information, your vaccine information, or your negative COVID test. And you think it's gonna be simple and get approved. It wasn't too bad. Jay got approved immediately, and then I had to call and get mine approved to be pushed through. We didn't have any issues with it. A lot of people did.
I know, ours was pretty painless, and we only did it like 1 or 2 days before the flying, like before getting ready to go to the cruise.
I mean, for the ease that we had with it, I would recommend trying it at least. But it is an option. Right,
but it's like, I think it's the One World family of airlines. Like, it's not Delta, it's not United, it's not Southwest. It was American for us. So it's very specific airlines. But it was very helpful.
We liked it, yeah.
I know. And customer service, they answered the phone in like 30 seconds.
It was so great, yeah.
So then we get to Nassau, and we've got immigration and customs. They did give you the form on the plane to fill out, just like when we've traveled to Cancun before.
Right.
And you just write in all your passport stuff, what flight you're coming in on. You go to the customs, so you do immigration first.
Right.
They stamp your thing, stamp your passport, give you a piece to hold on to. Now, nobody cared about that little piece.
I would still suggest not losing it.
Don't lose. Any paperwork they give you at immigration, don't lose it.
Just in case.
Just in case. And then customs, you walk through and they say you got any,
fruits and vegetables, nuts, seeds, all those good questions.
I'm a nut, but they let me through. So we've made it to Nassau. All right, so now embarkation in Nassau. Now Nassau is not at the current time set up to be like an embarkation port. It's not something that they do. So they use the British Colonial Hilton as the check-in spot. So we used Royal Caribbean Transportation to get ourselves over to the British Colonial Hilton. We got there. We had to set an arrival appointment ahead of time, right? We had what, 12:30?
Yeah. So the arrival appointment was for your test.
Yes.
Your rapid antigen check.
I think it was an antigen test. Well, I like to call it the Poconos test.
The Poconos test.
Anyway.
Which Royal Caribbean sent out an email the day before. They gave you a QR code that you had to sign up that way. So make sure you bring that with you if you happen to be going on this particular cruise.
Yeah, that was a bit of a surprise because the Bahamas had dropped the testing requirement and Royal Caribbean picked it right back up and said, we're going to keep that. Has the Bahamas since put it back in play? It's hard to keep up with what's going on.
As of the video now, you actually have to test before you go to the Bahamas again.
We did not.
So, like we said, everything is changing. So definitely stay on top of that as much as possible.
I know, you just have to research. I'll try to put some resources down in the description maybe of like how to find out what you're going to need because it is rapidly evolving.
The cruise line or your travel agent or your PVP or whoever should help you with that as well.
That's true. My travel agent was very good at keeping me up to date as to what was going on. So we got through, we got to the hotel, checked in, we went through, we had to hang out for a little while because we were early. They were not letting you go through much earlier than your slot.
Don't try it.
We got our Poke test. They told us go hang out for a while. We had to go do the standard check-in process with like the little desks, and you show your set sail pass and all that stuff. And then we sat in the waiting area and waited for our results.
I think it took about 15 minutes.
That's probably about right.
It was emailed to us. And
the hotel had Wi-Fi that you could hop on for free so that you could check your results. Because like we don't have data service in the Bahamas.
No, not at all.
So we both got our results. We were negative. Boom.
Then you go to the table and you go and get on the shuttle to go to the ship.
Yes, and so that's what we did. All right, so now we're finally to the ship. Let's talk about the ship. We've talked about protocols for like 5.5 minutes.
Even though they may not apply anymore.
These are complicated times, okay? We don't even know how to make videos anymore. Gosh, all right, so the ship protocols. So now overall, correct me if I'm wrong, the general protocols were, because all the adults were vaccinated on this cruise. You did not have to wear a mask inside or outside once you were on the ship.
Right.
In Nassau, yes. In
embarkation, yes, you did.
There was some social distancing, even though I don't think it was required by any like entity, but things like the theater and the lounges, the arcade, the casinos, like every other machine was blocked off.
The
things
tables
like that.
in the dining room and at the buffet.
Right.
Yeah, all of those.
So there were some social distancing in play, which in some of the smaller lounges was a little bit weird trying to find seats because, you know, there were groups on this cruise and it was hard to...
Well, they were trying to discourage it, but sometimes you'd have a sign next to you here, but then you'd have a person sitting next to you here, and I'm thinking,
they're doing their best.
Does that really matter? But, you know, we knew it was a guinea pig cruise, if you will, when we went on it, so we just went with the flow, but it was interesting. Yeah,
the weird part was in the lounge, I thought I had heard that, like, if you had a party of 3, that you were going to be able to sit together, even though in the lounge it was, you know, 2 seats were good and then 2 seats were bad. 2 seats were good. Right. Parties of 3 and parties of 4, they made them split up and actually use only the approved seats. So if you were a family of 3, 2 people got to sit together, then you had to skip 2 seats and the third person would sit. So it was a little weird,
and they had
but
little,
I get it.
Like things over the chairs that said reserved.
Yeah, so. I think they spent a lot of money on those, and they're like, we're going to use these things.
I mean, they were cool.
So we're going to social distance because we need to get our money's worth out of these seat savers.
I think so too.
Anyway, let's see. That was most of that. Oh yeah, because I had in my notes that it was really just the kids that were unvaccinated, the Utes on this one, and they actually had to do like daily check-ins with the Bahamas, even though we weren't, you know, we were sailing away from the
Bahamas. That was a Bahamas thing where it was just updating them of any symptoms and things like that. It was a daily email that they had to go into.
Yeah, I think it was like, you know, do your kids have boogers in their nose? Have they been sneezing? That kind of thing. Do they have a fever? Are you going to tell us?
Lovely, yeah.
But I think it was daily by email, right? So anyway. Let's see, I already got through some of that stuff. Let's talk about stuff on the ship. Let's get away from protocols. Let's get away from sad stuff. So let's talk about food. You know, I usually start these videos with food. So food overall, your main options, of course, are the Windjammer Buffet, which was open for breakfast and lunch. Not dinner.
No.
That's new, y'all.
But they had a reservation system.
Yes.
Or you could show up because there was not many people on our sailing.
We never made a reservation.
Yeah, so that was different also.
Yeah, I guess you would do the reservations. You could do them in the app, or you could probably walk up to the desk and make one. Or just stand in the line for bad children who didn't make reservations.
That was us.
But Windjammer, you know, it's always fun.
They have
always
a good variety for sure.
Yeah, you have the main dining room, of course, which there were breakfast, lunch, and dinner options. Lunch was available twice. We had some hit or miss experiences in the MDR. The food overall was pretty good.
Pretty good.
There were some, you could tell some people were relearning how to do things, and that was okay. It was to be expected. You have the Cafe Promenade, which is not 24 hours. It's almost 24 hours.
I know I said that before. I think it closes at like 3 a.m. and reopens at like 5.
I think that's right.
So it's pretty close.
20 to 22 hours a day. You can go to Cafe Promenade for sandwiches and snacks and pizza and cookies.
It's always good, in my
beverage
opinion.
stations, coffee, all that sort of stuff. Johnny Rockets was really kind of open for dinner only, which was another surprise.
Yeah, usually it's a lunch establishment.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, and some ships have it for breakfast. The Adventure does not.
Ones, yeah.
But yeah, we were like, cool, lunch at Johnny Rockets. Nope. But we did get to check that out for dinner.
Did.
There's lots of specialty dining, like chops, Giovanni, Chef's Table. We didn't do any of that.
Yeah.
But, you know, it was there, but
it looked awesome.
It did. We just looked at it from afar. Any other food? That was my food notes.
Yeah, no, that's about it.
Yeah, but we didn't go hungry. We didn't starve.
No, we never did.
But the buffets, I guess we should point out, they were grab and go and assisted service, you know, as is to be expected. You're not touching tongs. You're not doing any of that stuff.
You grab your silver and your plate and you ask for what you want. That's it.
Yeah, you hold the plate. They put the food on the plate. Yep. Not too bad. All right, let's jump to, I normally have a section called bars, but I just called this hangout spots.
Okay.
Because why not? Duck and Dog Pub.
Yeah,
which was always cool. Live entertainment in the evenings. Lots of martinis and things like that. What the heck?
Beer.
That was really the only main hangout on the promenade, which was sad, but it's, you know, the ship hasn't been amplified yet.
Further back, there's some.
Yeah, you've got the Imperial Lounge, which is always good to hang out. There's trivia, there's games.
Lots of game shows,
live
things like
bands.
that in there.
Oh yeah, lots of fun. Viking Crown Lounge, way up on the top in the observatory, as I call it.
Usually a dance club, not on our sailing.
Yeah, they did
Like
dancing in the next option, which is Studio B. The ice skating.
Cool.
Yeah, the ice skating rink, they turned into a dance club. Lots of ice shows. We saw Jordan. Y'all know Jordan from YouTube.
She's awesome.
And they had lots of other places, like there's the library you can hang out in. There's a card room you can hang out in. The online, if you wanted to, you go to the computer lab and hang out there.
Why not?
Any other main hangouts that I glazed over? Probably.
Boleros.
Oh, Boleros is a good one. Yeah,
you're missing some stuff.
Okay. Well, help me, help my brain.
Boleros and the Champagne Bar were also like seating areas with bars that you could order, you know, either champagne or like Mexican cocktails.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess I should jump back to food. Well, we're kind of in beverages and mentioned there's the Ben & Jerry's coffee shop area there too. It's not a standalone Starbucks, but they do serve Starbucks coffee.
Yeah.
Which we learned in a live stream. That means you can't use your gift cards on that ship unless it's a standalone Starbucks. But anyway, that was good to know. Thanks for that tip in the live stream.
Thanks, Justin.
Anyway, let's jump to entertainment, because entertainment was pretty daggone good.
It was good.
I mostly focused my entertainment notes on the live music because, okay, switched on band.
Amazing.
They were good, y'all.
She could sing anything, any genre, any notes. I don't know how she did it. She was amazing.
Yeah, they were from Mexico.
Yes.
They were fantastic.
Yeah.
Kieran, of course,
also
there in
phenomenal.
the pub, playing that guitar, using that looper, making
So
its own
good.
background tracks. You've got the singers, the band at Boleros. I did not catch their name, but they were always entertaining.
But they played your song.
Yes. Other entertainment, of course, they had a couple of shows.
Piano Bar.
Oh, Piano Bar too with Schooner. That's right.
Really
We hung out there.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name, but here's a clip of him playing some songs. Anyway, we'll put him in there too. Yeah, that's right. And then we go to whatever the heck I just said. My brain just derailed. Yeah, so we saw Impact, which was good. Y'all.
Sorry.
Impact was good. It was kind of like a stompy show.
It was cool.
We missed the main Latin dancing show.
Everyone, we watched the vlogs since then. Oh my goodness, it looked like a really good show. We regret not seeing it.
If I could go back in time and talk to myself as a younger man, I'd go see that show. There was like a juggler. We had a comedy act. There was a singer at least. Yep. Oh yeah, so lots of entertainment. There was a lot. There weren't many like activities necessarily some evenings, but there was always live music and something to do. But it was a very relaxed, chill vibe overall, I'd say.
Not overcrowded.
No, true. And that brings me kind of to my list of that I call things they weren't doing.
Yes.
So this is why some of the evenings felt very chill. So you'll notice there were no promenade parties like with balloon drops and singing and dancing.
Right.
There was no love and marriage show.
No.
Whatever they call it, you know that.
They call it something like that.
There was no Crazy Quest.
No.
There was no Silent Disco. There was. Scandalous. They took it off the schedule. It was on there.
Yeah.
And there was only a couple of karaoke sessions. There were supposed to be more toward the end of the cruise. They nixed those as well. So lots of things where people were going to gather.
I think they figured out early on where people wanted to gather and they took them off the schedule.
It's rude.
And there was supposed to be a deck party, like Dancing Under the Stars. That disappeared early on as well. So we understand they were just trying to roll with the punches and figure it all out.
Yeah, but I mean, they kept fun things. Like there were movies on deck. We didn't see any. There was lots of things going on that we didn't kind of do, but it was mostly a very relaxed vibe, I would say. Now getting back to some of the protocols, of course, you did have to test to come back into the United States because we were in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
They were offering testing free of charge on day 6 and day 7 right there on the ship. Very easy. It was a very shallow nose swab.
Yeah, it's a QR code. You had to sign up for your time, and then you just show when it's your time. Yeah,
super quick though, and it was up on deck 5 in the dining room. And leaving Nassau, I'm already off the ship and coming back home, y'all. This is so sad. I pointed out, because we left from the U.S. departures terminal, I thought it was interesting that they actually did U.S. customs right there on site in the Bahamas. So when you check in, you go through U.S. customs, and I guess when you're in the concourse or whatever waiting for your plane, you're kind of on U.S. soil because you're already back in.
Yeah.
Like when we got back to Charlotte, we didn't have to go through U.S. customs.
I'm going to go back on the ship for a minute. So debarkation was awesome because you actually got to stay in your cabin, and they had on a certain TV channel scrolling through what decks and tag numbers they called, and that was amazing. So I hope that's something they keep in the future. I don't know if they'll be able to with turning over ships quickly.
I feel like they could.
But then, you know, you weren't gathered with all your luggage in some lounge waiting to go. And
true.
not everyone was on like Windjammer taking up all the seats. So that was lovely.
I know.
Yeah.
Now, how'd you get back on the ship? You left me. I'm home already, and you're back on the ship.
I just wanted to point that out.
I wanna come
thought
back on
that
the
was
ship.
one of the best things that they did.
All right, find something for me to talk about so I can come back on the ship.
We're back at the airport. We went to Dunkin' Donuts.
Shoot.
No.
All right, well, I hope you had fun on the ship without me. But that's really all my notes overall.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we tried to show as much as we could in the videos. I'm sure there's protocols and things that we showed and then totally forgot to talk about, because that's how this works. But if you have any questions, random things, stuff is changing all the time.
Please let us know.
But at least as of our June 12th, 2021 sailing, this is how it were.
Yep.
But that's it. Any other random notes on the adventure before we end this adventure?
It was an amazing first cruise back.
It was.
Especially because of the company we got to hang out with, all the other creators and vloggers, bloggers, Instagrammers, just people in general, and fans. Not fans, Pyromaniacs.
Y'all
you know
fans,
who you are.
y'all. Stalkers.
You know, Pyromaniacs.
That's
And
right.
no, I couldn't have asked for a better first cruise back, honestly.
I know.
Yeah.
So that is it then. Thank you so much for joining us for this adventure. If you missed any of the actual vlog parts, they're here on a playlist on the channel. I'll probably put it below if I remember. But if you have not already, make sure to subscribe to the channel, become a Pyromaniac today. Socialize all our media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Yep. And until next time, rock on. Bye.